Alright, after reading this chapter, I can understand why last week there wasn't a break, and I think this one, we're supposed to get a break next week, which I don't think we were supposed to originally, but I think something happened as to why we are getting a break, and after everything that happened in this chapter, I could probably make 2, maybe even 3 videos about different things that have been revealed and how it has affected the One Piece that we know. And this was a great birthday present to me. I am blessed to see another year and blessed to see another One Piece chapter. But what's good, everybody? It is your boy Potential Unleashed. I am back with another One Piece chapter review. This is One Piece chapter 1095. I think on the cover page of the scans or something there is an error. It's not 1995, it is 1095. It is titled A World Not Worth Living In. Really freaking good chapter, and I can't wait to talk about it. But if you guys enjoy regular anime content and reviews like these, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out a new video. With that, my name is Potential Unleashed, and let's get into the review. So we start off with the different Marines of lower rank. They are running away because they are not to be in the presence of Saint Garcia Saturn, and obviously it's because they are not worthy of his presence. I made mention about this, or this possibly being a reason, in a video recently that I made about Saturn. If you guys want to watch that, I will leave it in the description below. But you see different Marines talking about how that they've only seen him in images or portraits, so they're wondering why someone of this stature is here. The different vice admirals and other Marines that remain here notice that Saturn got stabbed and they're about to go and fire and shoot at Boney for doing so, and he's like, hey, if I wanted to, or if I didn't want to get stabbed, I would have dodged or would have avoided it or just wouldn't let that attack happen. And so he throws Boney away. Well, he doesn't throw her away. He actually grabs her and picks her up. And Sanji goes and tries to run and save her. And then he hits him. I don't really know exactly what it is, but it's like he glared at Sanji and he ended up sending him flying. And Sanji's not a slouch. And I know so many people who have it out for Sanji or always want to talk about him or talk bad around him, that they're going to make it like that. I mean, this is a Gorosei, like, he is broken. And the fact that Sanji just defeated Queen, it's actually insane because he is strong. Ifrit Janbe has his drama abilities. He is super fast, has haki. Like, the fact that he just slung Sanji around like this, like it was nothing, didn't even use a named attack. These Gorosei and the world government and the people that they have, like Garland, which I'll talk about a little bit later in this review, they are crazy strong. He takes the sword out of his, I'm gonna say beard. I kind of really don't know exactly what part of the body it is since he's so big, and the wound, it ends up disappearing. There's also mention of Kizaru from Saturn talking about it took longer than expected, and Kizaru said, I have no excuses, but I don't think I can move for a little bit, where Saturn's like, hey, I understand, because he went against Luffy, and I already know so many individuals are going to use this against the admirals, and that they're going to push their agenda of Yonko being over admirals. Let's not mention well, they're not going to mention the fact that Luffy is just as wiped out and defenseless as Kizaru. They both, after taking different attacks and fighting each other, that they're both weakened and they both are unable to move and unable to fight. And well, I don't think we're ever going to get the whole Admiral versus Yonko debate settled unless they fight and one of them is clearly the victor standing upon or over the other one. And I know Marineford doesn't really count because it was like a lot of ish going on, a lot of people jumping each other. And I also find it interesting that Kizaru said this and then Oda portrayed Saturn trying to attack Luffy, and then Frankie moving using strong right punches him out of the way, where Saturn praises Frankie saying, hey, you know, you guys are strong, and that Luffy, you are blessed with having a strong crew. It's really interesting because, I mean, obviously none of them meant to link up like this. I mean, we know Boney like actually went to go to Egghead, but Luffy and the Straw Hats, they just so happened to be here. And Saturn says, hey, you guys linked up, it was unexpected, but if you guys can escape this, I would love to see you guys try. It's really interesting because Luffy and the Straw Hats, they've escaped random things that they shouldn't have escaped from before. We've seen Ennis Lobby, we've seen Impel Down, Marineford, so they are going to find a way to get out of this. Also, there are other people like Frankie, like Vegapunk and Sanji talking about how they can't move. It might be of the works of a devil fruit power. I'm actually not really sure how or why they can't move. For me, it kind of reminds me of Bleach whenever there is a captain, or I guess you could say anybody of strong, has a strong spiritual pressure, that whenever that they are around, like they can't move and they're frozen solid. It's really interesting if it is a devil fruit power, if it's just like overwhelming strength. Is it conquerors? I'm not really sure, but Boney is looking at Saturn talking about, hey, you killed my father, which technically it's kind of true, because well, we get Kuma's flashback. Before we do, there was a mention by Saturn talk about Kuma was born to be a slave, and the fact that he was a lone survivor of the exterminated Buccaneer people. I'm like, oh, we get another race drop. You know, we had the Lunarians, now we had the Buccaneer people, there's the Long Garb tribe, there's the Giants, there's so many different individuals. At first I thought that they were going to mention like the actual Buccaneer pirates, which, quick history lesson, I guess the abridged version, they were individuals that were on the Caribbean Sea and they attacked, I believe, the Spanish. Those, I thought we were gonna get a mention, something like that, but I was completely wrong. So we get Kuma's flashback, and there was him saying that ever since he was a child that he always wanted to be a hero who brought freedom to those who were suffering, because he's suffering himself. He didn't want anybody else to experience that. He wanted to be someone like the sun god Nika, somebody who could dance and put a smile on others and just liberate everyone. So we get Kuma's flashback and his parents. One of them, the father, is a Buccaneer, or he has Buccaneer blood within him, and his wife, she, I'm gonna say, is a nobody, because Kuma, he and his son and his wife, they are hunted, and the fact that they are hunted because they are really freaking strong. I know later in the chapter Ivankov talks about the Buccaneer people having giant's blood within them, which would make sense to why, depending on who Boney's mother is. I mean, she already has like the Buccaneer blood within her. I don't know if her mother is going to be of anyone who is special, but that would make sense to why Boney people would want her. But we see constantly throughout this chapter of Kuma, he is a slave. He's trying his best to fulfill his role, but at the same time trying not to fall into despair, because yeah, being beaten and being a slave and going through all this, even his mother was killed, right? So he has suffered a lot, and we just see the celestial dragons constantly beating on him and constantly mistreating him. Where later, and this is a reference, I don't have the exact chapter number, but we talked about whenever Who's Who was going against Jinbei about Nika, that it was a tale that slaves they would use in order to have some, I guess, sense of mind that somebody could save them. That was mentioned back then, and we get an example of this from Kuma's father talking about how they have to survive because Nika will save them. Now, this is really interesting because, and like I said, I plan on doing like an in-depth chapter analysis on this. Is just my quick thoughts, because there was like this every 3 years that there's a hunting of humans or something along those lines. Like I said, it's just my initial thoughts, and so the place that they are going to try and hunt these different individuals is now God Valley, because it's a kingdom that has all of these resources. And instead of like human hunting, since it's not a world government affiliated nation, they're going to hunt the natives that are there. And then we seen the king is like, what the fluff are you guys doing? Like, this is my country. And then he gets taken down and cut, and he gets taken down by an individual known as Saint Figureland Garland, because this dude, he looks a lot like Shanks. This brother is handsome, like being young, and it makes me think about the conversation that Shanks had with Whitebeard. I believe Whitebeard said, looking at him reminds me of, or makes my wounds ache because it reminds him of someone. And a lot of people were thinking either Blackbeard, maybe Zebuk, maybe Roger. It might actually be Garland, because him and Shanks look a lot alike. Along with the hunting of the natives, they also are free to hunt the slaves that are being problem children. And so Kuma, he tried to escape because he is like the grand prize being of Buccaneer blood. And so then all of a sudden Ivankov and a girl named Jenny, she is a slave that is Ivankov's younger sister. And so we see that they're on God Valley here, and that Ivankov is, well, how that they are associated with Kuma. It's really interesting because originally we thought God Valley included just Roger, Whitebeard, Zebuk, and the members of that crew, so Big Mom, Shiki, and Whitebeard, right? We never really thought about the potential. I mean, at least, well, I never really thought about the potential of other individuals that would be there, like Ivankov, like Kuma. Granted, they're younger. There's Garland, and there may even be more individuals that have yet to be revealed that were there. Which also maybe because of, I mean, not everybody knows what exactly the cover up for the true fruit of the Gum fruit, that it's the sun god model Nika and all of that, or the Hito to me if you want to be technical. But it's kind of interesting since we've seen them talk about sun god Nika and like Kuma and how he feels about him. Did he actually know that the Gum fruit, what it was, the model Nika, and is that why, not only because he's affiliated with Dragon, but because he saw that Luffy had that fruit, is that another reason why he felt obligated to go after him and have Vegapunk put specific orders in him to protect the Sunny, different things like that? It would be really interesting if that's the case. Like I said, this is my initial thoughts of this chapter. There's so much for me to dissect, so much for me to look at and have to analyze, and I will be doing an in-depth review maybe either Friday or Monday when I post a long video. It just depends on how much I'm going to have to look at. But let me know how you guys feel about this chapter in the comment section below. Like I said, I thought there wasn't going to be a break next week, but apparently there is. I think something came up. Hopefully everything is all right with Oda, but let me know how you guys feel about it in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It's on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.